Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I know that we recently ended the SAT math series, so I wanted to pick up some SAT English stuff. And if you know me or you've seen a lot of the shorts, I am a grammar person, so I wanted to start this series with grammar. Now, there's going to be 5 questions, so let's just get into them. So Ida B. Wells, one of the early leaders of the civil rights movement, is known for her many candid journalistic accounts of the African American condition at the turn of the 20th century. Now, I think the best thing to do for these type of questions, especially ones like this, is to sound it out, right? Does it sound right to you? Does this seem like something you would have read before? Because to me, well, it kind of does, right? We have a person and he is, she is, in this case, she is known for something. So since it's singular, right, we wouldn't say they because it's one person. And were is plural. Are is also plural. And were is just like are, but in the past, so we can kind of eliminate those. And then have been. Well, first off, this is like also kind of plural because it would be has been, because has is like singular, so it would be she has been, but that's not what it says, so that's not the right answer. So the answer is A, which is no change. And that's because it's describing someone, they or she is known for something and is a singular. So second, although robots will one day help with household chores, it will never completely replace human cleaners. Well, first off, we know it's not going to be the answer here because it is, once again, it's a singular thing. It describes one thing, and this is robots, plural. So we can get rid of no change. He is also singular, and robots, well, they aren't gendered, but it's still also plural. And then you, well, it's obviously not you, because the sentence is not talking about you. It's not talking about the reader. And then that's also singular. So the only answer then is they. And that's because it's plural, right? It makes sense. Now, a little bit of a different question here. This is one's like more on actual grammar instead of agreements. So while they are fierce rivals when playing on opposite sides of the net, Serena and Venus Williams together have won 13 Grand Slam titles in doubles tennis. Now, this is kind of like where a grammar rule comes in. You have an introductory phrase, and then you have the rest of the sentence. And if you remember maybe from your English class, right? After an introductory phrase, you're supposed to include a comma. So what's the answer? Well, it's going to be B. And it's just because of that rule. And you can, I don't know, you can kind of think of it like you're also supposed to have a comma before a name sometimes, before and after a name sometimes, depending on the situation. So you can kind of think of it like that, but that's only for this situation. And in other sentences where there's introductions, that probably wouldn't be the case. So just think, okay, there's an introduction, a comma has to come after it. So, third question, no, fourth question. The pyramids that are located in present-day Sudan were constructed by rulers of the ancient Kushite Empire to serve as tombs for the most powerful citizens. Well, immediately, what we should notice is that there's 2 commas here, right? So either this information is non-essential, which is what 2 commas or this thing means, right? 2 dashes. So we can assume that it's not essential, or we can assume that it is essential. Now, this type of grammar doesn't work in any scenario unless there's like a parentheses somewhere down the line here. But that is not the case for the sentence. So we can get rid of that. Now, considering that I said that the commas are non-essential and the dashes show non-essential information, do we think the information is non-essential? No. And since they're showing the same thing, well, neither of them can be the right answer. So it's not going to be A or D. So that means that this information is essential. So the answer is going to be C, where there's nothing. Because if it just leaves it and it flows, then it's essential information, right? So that's how it's going to be presented. And you can think of it as essential information because if you're reading the question and you're like, oh, the pyramids, well, those are in Egypt. Well, these ones are different, right? These pyramids are in Sudan. So I think it's kind of important that that it specifies that's in Sudan. So that's another reason. And then here we have their strange American food store. Ida and Jeff discovered 3 of the country's oddest and most delicious desserts: deep fried Coke, bacon donuts, and chair pumpel. 3 pies inside a cake. It's interesting. I would have never had or thought that you can deep fry Coke. How do you deep fry Coke? How do you? Well, I guess the other 2 are reasonable. But anyways, to the question. Well, this is an independent clause here. It's like a full independent clause. We have a subject and there's like an action. The people discovered something. So we're connecting this independent clause to a list that follows. Now, the way I like to think of it is a colon is supposed to connect either lists or like explanatory stuff. Explanatory. So like the first part of a sentence says something and then the second part explains it. It's kind of how I think of it. But that's just like what I was taught. So this is a list. You can tell it's a list, right? Because it's literally listing 3 types of foods. So we can assume that the colon's going to be right here. And then explanation. I mean, you can think of this as an explanation too. But I would think of it more as a list for this scenario. And the main reason a colon works here is because this part is independent. And then there's a list, right? And then the list follows. So the answer is going to be no change. And the point is, none of these work. This one, no grammar, that's bad. It's just bad in this scenario. This one, there's not 2 independent clauses, so shouldn't connect them like that. And it's also not like a complex list. I don't know, like where you have something like Sam, comma, dot, 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 comma, dot, 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 and then you go on to say like Judy does something, dot, 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 comma. It's just like a semicolon can be used to separate things that have a bunch of commas in them, just so that you're not continually using commas and commas and commas. Then this one, comma is not going to work. Colon's just better for the scenario. So really just think of it like colon. It's a list. There's a colon. There's an independent clause. Should really goes together with a colon. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys and have a good day.